afternoon,
Hello, everybody.
everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to another live class. Happy Tuesday, as Jill always calls it. Happy Tuesday. And we hope you're doing well. We are the Sawyers. In case you just came in and don't know who we are the Sawyers. And this is a heart to heart, a cornerstone. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. There's Kelly. Hey, KK. How you doing? Thank you for the love gift, sweetheart. I
Thank you.
just saw that. Thank you so much. Hey, brother-in-law and Sissy. How are you today? Hope you're doing well. And there's Pastor Norman. Pastor Norman. And then there's Lisa Kelly. Hey, Lisa Kelly. I hadn't seen you on here in a while, girl. And Dee Dee and George.
Georgia Didi,
And
George.
Kathy's here. Hey, Kathy. And Linda Langdon is here. How are you, Linda? How are you? I got to tell you something funny, Linda, about baby girl today. John Dreesen just came in the house. I got to tell you something funny. A friend of ours, a neighbor of ours, rather, she came by and we walked together this morning. It was kind of blustery, real kind of windy, real windy. So she didn't drive her golf cart to the house, which she normally does to go back home. But she walked. So I said, well, since you already walked the distance with me, let me just take you home and I'll go see, she's had some work done. So I said, I'll go see what you got done anyway in your house. So baby girl went with me, of course. And when we got there, baby girl, of course, went in the house and acted like she was, she made herself at home. She went all the way through the house and found a toy, one of the toys, dog toys that Jan's dog has. So anyway, Jan's work that she's having done on her house it's a split level, so it was like a down in the basement. So the steps were really, really steep. So we went down the steps, and I said, baby girl, you stay right here, because baby girl's gotten where she's skittish about going up steps.
Mm-hmm.
Steep, I'll say long steps. And so baby girl didn't pay attention to me. She came down those steps. And I said, oh my God, I know I'm going to have trouble getting her back up. Well, lo and behold, Pastor Norman, that's your favorite thing to say. Lo and behold, when we got ready to go back upstairs, baby girl looked at the steps and she just looked at them like, I don't know if I'm going up those steps or not. I'm not going up those steps. But she didn't want to leave me or me to leave her. So we ended up having to get baby up those steps, the two of us. Now, mind you, Jan is little bitty. She's tiny and frail. And here I am. I can't do with so much. And baby girl's a big dog. So I had her back end. Jan had her front end. Baby girl didn't know where to put her feet. So it was almost like carrying her up the steps, but she was still touching the steps. It was crazy. I got so hot and bothered till my glasses fogged up. I couldn't see. When we got to the top of the stairs, we were both so winded. We had to sit down and be still for a minute. We were just worn out. And she found this toy that she's been obsessed with all day long. I had to take it from her just a minute ago in order for her to eat. She didn't even eat because of that toy. She's obsessed with it and loves it. So anyway, that was the story for today. And I tell you, I don't ever want to have to get that dog back up the stairs. And they were wooden stairs with no carpet.
Uh-oh.
And they were steep.
Oh, Lord.
So she looked at him like,
hardwood.
Nope, I'm not going up those stairs. And so she was kind of working against us the whole time because she didn't want to go. She didn't trust those stairs. Oh, it was something. I wish it could have been video.
So you finally made it.
We finally made it. Yes, we were worn out when we got up to the top of those stairs, though. She, of course, was happy. She had her toy, and she hadn't put that toy down the whole time she's been back.
Get in her mouth now, though.
No, I took it. But she's had that toy in her mouth all day, ever since about 12:30.
Yeah.
She's had that toy in her mouth all day. So, baby girl, I tell you. I wish it could have
Lord.
been videoed. It would have been viral by now. It would
Mm-hmm.
have been just viral. Interview. I'm glad you guys are with us. Yeah, baby girl is silly. She's silly. She's gotten to where she's afraid of jumping up on high things, and she's always been really a jumper. She could jump over the back of
Mm-hmm.
a
She was.
couch.
She was.
But now, because she's gotten older, she's more cautious, and she just not going to do it. Not going to do it. The other day, she jumped on our bed. Our bed's a high bed. It's a real high bed. We have step stools to get in our bed. And so when she got ready to jump on the bed, she made it, but her back legs were hanging off.
Uh-oh. Mm-hmm.
I think it scared her because she just laid there for a minute and didn't move. I think she got scared. So
She's not as agile as she used to be.
she's just like us now. I know there are certain things that my body can and cannot do. So hey, you have to respect it, and that's what she's telling me. Respect where you are. Respect the limitations of your body as it gets older. But anyway, I'm glad you guys are here with me. Thank you for uh, tuning in and listening to our silly stories. I had a I had a an idea to do this tonight. I don't know why I want to do this, but I just want to do this. Of course, I'm going to do this, say this passage about love, but I wanted to also give you my prayer, the prayer of my heart, which I believe is God's desire for you as well. And by the way, I want to mention Leslie, who normally frequents us on Tuesdays and Sundays. Her dad is in the hospital, so if you can just send him some light and love and send her some strength, that would be wonderful. He's very sick right now, so that would be good for her. And if she's listening, Leslie, we are praying with you and upholding you and standing with you for his healing. Good afternoon, Sharon. And there's Marvita just popped in here. Hey, sweetheart.
Got a whole crew in here tonight.
So listen, let's just center ourselves right now. Some of you may be more centered than myself, but go ahead and find a place of quiet, a place to be still if you can, where there are no distractions. Leave everything else outside. You don't need any other concerns at this point. Just leave everything aside. And yes, John Greason, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. All right, you can listen to this or you can repeat it after me, whichever you prefer. Sink back into the arms of God. Just sink back into the arms of God. Inside yourself. Sink back into that place, that center, where everything is already still, where every prayer is already answered, where every prayer has already been heard. Love is the collapse of the sense of separation. Love is the desire to remove the gap. Love is the desire to be one and not two. Love can never be demanding, but instead sets one free. Love has no self-interest and is never concerned with winning. Winning is not in the vocabulary of love. Love has no reason to love. It just is. Love desires nothing from the other. Needing to be right is not the language of love. Love holds no position to argue. And love cannot be threatened. This is my prayer for you guys. This is my desire for you guys. I want you to have peace. I want you to be happy. I want you to have all you need and want. I want you to have confidence. I want you to feel secure. I want you to be inspired. I want you to overcome every fear, every habit, every fault. I want you to feel loved, not just needed. I want you to know someone is here for you. I want you to have the experience of a quiet mind. I want you to know how to make decisions that will make life easier for you. I want you to be surrounded with the goodness of God. I want you to have all that God wants for you. I want you to have only loving relationships. I want you to know your purpose and find meaning in your life. I want you to become heart-centered. And finally, I want you to appreciate yourself and see your true value. That's my prayer for you. That's my desire for you. And so it is. Good afternoon, Jeanette. I'm glad you're here.
Okay.
Well, I tell you, what you got on your plate? Anything good?
Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about what's inside of us potential.
Okay.
Okay. Wouldn't it be great for everybody if you could lay all your books down, all your notes laid to the side,
Mhm.
except for four words that would describe us having everything that every book you read, from the Bible to A Course in Miracles, if you could find out that everything that anybody could write in a book, every word of God that you found that we fight about in the book is inside of all of us, and it's called the kingdom of God. Everything in me, I have no need to fuss and fight over who's getting more, who's more gifted than the other, who's more anointed than the other. Everything that God is in the Bible, I don't care what version you use, King James, Bob James, or Etta James, whatever James.
Mhm. Mhm.
All of this is inside of us. Wouldn't it be a much more peaceful church gathering
Or spiritual gathering.
or spiritual gathering? I have never seen so many people in the church who swear they know and got the lock and the key in the door to solving everybody's problem, with the idea that they got it and everybody else don't.
Right.
When you talk to people about where does the Christ actually live, most of them that are in denominational church or spirituality would say, in some areas, he's in me. But when you ask them, where does God live? they hesitate about the indwelling, and they think that salvation is for only getting people to heaven. It's like me having in my car all the tools that I need to work on a car, and it's all in one package, and we just don't know how to use it or don't know how to apply it.
True.
When the Bible says, and this is true for all books and literature, the kingdom of God is in us.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that I've been around in church for 50 some years are saying and quoting, when we had our church, we had other churches that would not associate with us, and we were not associating with them because we feel like that what we had, God told us, and what the other man had, God told him. So neither one of us can get together and talk the same talk that one is talking, the other one is talking, but we got this division between us that says one got it and he's going to change the whole world with what he said. And then I wake up and I find out that all of that is foolishness. But then I also realized this. I thought maybe that I could get rid of the chaotic mind by waking up to my true identity. Then I find out that the chaotic mind and the pure self are gathered with the eternal self, or the Christ child, and the Christ self is in the same place. And then some say, quiet the mind. I've done that. I've tried that. And something made me think or feel that others could do it and I can't do it, so I must be missing God. Then I begin to find out as I begin to research, everybody got noise on the inside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When we go to a restaurant and it's packed with people, and in some restaurants you can even hear what's going on in the kitchen. But we still have the ability to sit in our booth or at our table and find a place where there is no noise and center on each other at the table. And it's like an invisible sound barrier.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So one can be at peace even with a chaotic mind.
That's right. That's right. What we're finding out is that the disturbed self, the chaotic mind, is disturbed by itself.
Okay, let me see if I can
Let me say it another way.
interpret it. I'm going to
Okay.
interpret it based on what you just said. All right, let me go back to the analogy of being in a restaurant that's already noisy and it's full of people. I'm at my table. I have the ability, again, to tune everything out and to center in and focus on only that is right here in my perimeter, my immediate space. And while all of that is happening, I still hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I still hear all of the chaos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I will only be disturbed by the chaos if I leave my quiet, still bubble and pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't pay attention to it and I remain focused in my space here and centered in my space, they can make all of the noise they want out here and it won't disturb me.
Okay.
But the only way it will disturb me is if I leave my place of peace.
Okay. You know, we talked the other night about if you were out on the beach and you have a long chair and you stretch it out and you're watching the water, you got your little tent over your head, and somebody, you listen at the waves, it's peaceful, and somebody come by and say something to you and make you mad,
Kick some sand in your
kick
face.
sand in your face, you automatically distracted from the ocean and the waves,
Yes.
and you get angry and you start a fight.
So it's when our attention goes there,
The ocean hadn't left.
right?
You
The
left with your
peaceful moment
attention.
hasn't left.
That's right.
The peaceful serenity hasn't gone, but I've left it.
By distraction and we have built into us, everybody on this planet operate with the same noise, some more or less. Since I had trouble, lost my hearing in both ears, there's been a roaring sound, a humming sound, a buzzing sound, and in all that noise inside my head, my brain has not adjusted back to what it was. Here I am having to listen to people talk in a room
And not being able to
and not being able to
what any
distinguish
of them
them.
are saying particularly.
And yet I can hear everybody talking at one time.
That's chaos.
Yes, it is chaos.
Mm-hmm.
It is chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can be sitting in a restaurant and see somebody bless their food, and I can actually look at them and can tell that they're talking to the Christ in me.
When you said restaurant, you last year at my sister and brother-in-law's wedding anniversary, we all the family got together. Remember that? We all went down to the restaurant, and it was just like you're describing. Everybody's already in the restaurant talking or whatever, and then there are about 10 of us at the table talking all at the same time, having individual conversations among those of us who are right close to us. And you were sitting there with this hearing condition, limitation, I should say.
Limitation.
And I remember you saying to me how frustrated you got because you couldn't distinguish what everybody was saying. You could hear all of the noise, but you couldn't distinguish it. And you made this comment, and I know that it was divine intuition that did this, made you see this. You said, so what you did was you left it.
Yeah.
You left it, and you decided to just watch everybody.
I did.
Yes. And at that point, the disturbance was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just became mindful of what you could see.
The noise, I realized, was going to be there.
And you couldn't fight it.
And I couldn't, this is what people don't understand, and this is what we've picked up in churches. A spiritualized church, and everybody believe in the full gospel, casting out devils and deliverance. That gets their attention away from their true identity, and they call it warfare. And the warfare that they are in gives off the idea that they got to give all their attention to watching or hearing what the thing is saying out of the person that's being set free. And they don't realize that in order to go into warfare the way we've been taught, you got to leave the identity of the Christ self and separate yourself. It's a battle going on, and we think we finished the deal because somebody got free. And I can realize now that was a trick of the ego mind, because everybody in a circle, if one person said something and the person got free, all of a sudden they would feel like they had arrived because of that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm talking about the personal experiences that we've had for many years in this arena. And what I'm beginning to see is how to drive my car, metaphorically speaking, and not be distracted by outside noise that cause me to have to stop the car every time somebody
and you're saying,
in the car.
And what you're saying is we are learning to not give it our attention, and we have the power to do that. I remember you made me think about when you said spiritual warfare. I know you're talking specifically about people who are in our church circle that we were in. That was their that was, I'll call it modus operandi. It
Yeah,
was always
yeah.
a spiritual warfare against something. Anything that I didn't like, we would go into warfare against it, spiritual warfare, which was actually more aggressive prayers, even some who fasted, more aggressive screaming and yelling to what is invisible to make it go away, to try to make it go away. Uh, uh, Very aggressive declarations of trying to affirm that what we wanted was true and saying it over and over and over. And we call it speaking according to your faith. And it was a lot of effort and a lot of energy. But I remember in the scriptures when it talks about when Jesus went into the Garden of Gethsemane. Now there is none of us that were faced with what Jesus was faced with at that time. He was faced with the not possibility but probability, certain probability that he was about to be crucified.
There's another one
And
just going to be angry and sin not.
yes, so so in that time frame when Jesus was dealing with his emotions, that was chaos. I'm sure his mind was going crazy, and thinking about what he was going to be facing. But his method of spiritual warfare, or his method of dealing with the chaotic mind, which is what that warfare really is, it's inside of us. The battlefield is inside of our minds. His method of warring against that was to surrender. It wasn't to be aggressive against anything. It was surrender. He surrendered to what is. And I think, and even in the analogy of the restaurant, if you don't surrender to what is, you're going to be very disturbed by all of the stuff that's going on in the restaurant. Very disturbed. So and the only way to have peace or to experience peace in that setting is to accept that this is what's happening and it's okay. And I think that's where we are afraid that if we do that, something's going to overtake us, and we're not, and that's the fear. The fear that we're going to be overtaken, and we won't be able to get what we need and what we want. We're gonna something is going to we're going to feel more threatened, and so leaving it has to do with where I place my attention. And that's not, I'm not saying that making light of it, because that is not always an easy thing to do, to tune everything out and find that place of peace within yourself. That's not always an easy thing to do. But it is your practice.
The eternal self is not disturbed by the monkey mind.
Exactly. Yeah.
The eternal self is not aggressive to the point that it panics.
Right.
You remember when we heard about the old saint named Catherine Kuhlman?
We'll find a picture. Go ahead.
She was in a service, miracle service in a school gymnasium.
Yeah.
And some of the people that was on the bleachers did something, and one of the bleachers folded up, and a lot of people got hurt. She did not stop.
Right.
And kept going like everything was normal.
Yes, she sure
And
did.
there were and listen to this, there were people there to take care of everything. And she kept the service going.
I don't think she even changed anything. It was almost like she didn't even see it happen.
Didn't even address it. Didn't even say, what happened?
Right.
What is disturbed? What is disturbed? What is upset? What gets upset? What gets distracted? Watch this. Is the chaotic mind disturbed by its own chaotic self?
Yes.
The chaotic mind is disturbed by its own chaotic self mind, and that is got to be recognized, that if you can't get your monkey to stop swinging in the tree, it is a sign that you are supposed to move over into your attention to your pure self. To me, that is the definition of walking the walk of God and not being distracted, but keeping the same pace.
Well, one of the ways that works for me, and I know, and I have to admit, I don't always remember to do this. But when there is chaos, or chaotic mind, chaotic thoughts, or upheaval of my feelings and emotions, a lot of times it's that, not so much the mind, it's the feelings. What I sometimes, most times, learn to do is to take a back seat and look at what's happening. Look at,
observe it.
Yes, witness it, and witness the feelings, witness the thoughts, and when that's done, there's a little bit of distance put between what I am and that is chaotic. And when that happens, the energy of it begins to dissipate. It doesn't go away necessarily, but I remove myself from it. And that's what you were saying. That is the way I've removed myself from it, is when I begin to witness it. Okay, what is it here that sees this upheaval? What is it here that can observe this chaotic thinking? And what is it can right now see and be aware of this frustration or whatever the feelings are?
I'm aware that when we on the highway and we see the policeman stop another car when an accident takes place and you have to slow down, everybody's going through looking over the hood and the window, trying to drive, and then some of them run in the back of people trying to pay attention. They ain't nobody got nothing to do with it.
What
Police
we call
there, the ambulance there,
rubbernecking.
and then you look, their attention goes way over there and forget about being in the car.
Well, you know what you're saying is that there is something in the human psyche that wants to see the drama.
Yeah.
Wants to experience the drama. That's why we like movies that are action-packed.
Yeah.
we like those suspense movies.
Yeah.
There is something in the human psyche that enjoys the drama.
I be talking to you a lot of times. You don't even hear me talking.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how you do that.
Linda says this. She said, there comes a time when the chatter of the mind is just background noise, and what you are is in the forefront of your mind. Yeah, that's exactly right. And if you can see that, or I should say be aware of that you're seeing the distance between what you really are and that is the chaos.
If we were going to give you an exercise to do, that would be one of the exercises that I would like for everybody to get into. And then let's come back together and discuss how did it go.
Well, and that's good. And in fact, John's just chimed in. And John, thank you, John, for sharing. He says he does what he does. He does the verbal thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it changes the chaotic mind. And it really, let's say it like this, John. I don't know if it changes the mind, but I think it pulls you out of the mind. We get lost in the mind, lost in the feelings, but when we do those kinds of things, we're actually deliberately pulling ourselves away from it.
I have discovered this. It's like this. My investigation into trains and toys, the train, diesel engine train.
Oh yeah, he's always loved trains.
Is that if you're going to be a switcher or switchman on a railroad line in a classification yard, you have to have the job position is unhooking the cars and knowing what the classifications are in lining cars up for a long haul from one end of the uh, of the track destination from one end to the other. We call them a switcher.
Mm-hmm.
And the switcher, now here it is. It's never summertime. It's never wintertime. It's never a rainy day. It's never a sunny day. They have to get out there with their gloves and they wear their clothes, the certain kind of clothes they wear. They get out there and they have to pull on that cold metal. They have to get out of the engine compartment and go down the steps and unhook cars and line them up for the shipment to be done on the railroad.
Mm-hmm.
A train don't never have a flat tire. It don't run out of fuel. If it does, it's because the engine is wore out and they're getting ready to take it back to the scrap pile.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as a good day and a bad day when it comes down to waking up to your true identity. We've been used to saying that if I can't get my mind quiet, it is an attack. Now watch this.
And it may be, but that doesn't change anything.
This is what I understand clearer now than I ever have, that it is the job of the chaotic mind to get our attention away, and that was designed inside of us. Wow. That was designed in us to mature in a somewhat different word. I have to say it like that because that's the way my finite mind is got it. We will not ever walk in our pure self in its fullness as long as we give our attention to the distraction. The distraction was designed, is doing its job. That's what it was. That's why they both are in the same place. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, well, if you are a Christian and you are fully committed to God, you don't have those kind of things in your head. You don't have those kind of things inside of your head. But I beg to differ with you.
Yeah. As you were talking, I'll go back to the most, I want to see how I want to say it. The time when I seem to have less control over the chaotic mind or the thoughts, racing thoughts or whatever, is at night.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times in bed when you're trying to go to sleep and sleep isn't coming, and the feelings or thoughts or whatever you want to call them, the chaos is running. It's like it's just looping over and over again, like the song in your head that never goes away, and it's there. And it's sometimes that's why some people say it's best to just get up and do something instead of laying there trying to fight what's going on inside of you, and just get up and do something. There's so many ways to trick the mind. And I think that's what we're talking about. But it's also the most important thing to get out of this is that you are not the mind. And that you don't always have to beat it. You don't always have to win over it. You know what I mean? You don't always have to whip it and bring it into subjection. You don't always have to do that. Sometimes you can just allow it. And it will just run out. The inertia will run out. Sometimes you have to do it that way. It's so many ways to deal with it, but the core meaning of what we're saying is that you are not the mind, and that there is a you that is not disturbed. That can be aware of the disturbance and still not be disturbed.
In other words, it's like it's really. It's like it said in the book, Jesus and Judas were sitting at the same table eating. How often do you go to a restaurant to eat, and there's people around you that you don't know, and you can tell that somebody there that is look different, dressed different, but it doesn't stop you from eating.
Well, you know, when you're in a
It shouldn't.
I don't know why we're
Don't
using
stop me.
I don't know why we're using restaurants tonight, but we're going to use it.
Yeah.
Because if you're sitting in a restaurant and you've been there for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
waiting for your food to come out,
Mm-hmm.
you can sit there,
Mm-hmm.
and every time you see the waitress go past the table, you can allow yourself to become more and more
Mm-hmm.
ticked off.
Yeah. Like I'm messing with baby girl now, and yet I'm not distracted by her.
You can sit there and become more and more ticked off.
Mm-hmm.
And let it build and build and build, and then the mind will start telling you different stories about why they haven't come to your table, why they haven't brought you your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that, or you can say, "This is just a slow restaurant."
To me,
And I mean that
Mhm.
sounds too simple, but you can just say, "This is just a slow. They just slow service. They just got slow service." And when you say that,
They
there,
need some help.
there is this acceptance that comes over you. Not that you should sit there until midnight, but
Mm-hmm.
there's less and less of that build up of energy that's angry. It's the build up of energy that gets in there and it's angry. And then when they bring the food, you're still ticked off and you're not happy at all. You ruined your whole dinner.
Yeah.
And John said this. He said, "Might slow me down a little, Pastor." Now, Marita said this. She said, "That's good. Aware of the disturbance without being disturbed. That is an opportunity for us to energetically disconnect from the disturbance and observe how we react to it." Yes, how we react to it and observe how there is reactions that are there. And so, because you are not even the reactions.
When I studied into Dianetics, there's such a thing as an active, reactive mind.
You know, when Marvita said this, Marvita, you made me think of something. When, and this is, I'm not, now I'm using what you said because it's triggering something in me. That is, she says, that is an opportunity for us to energetically disconnect from the disturbance and observe how we react to it. In that sentence, and this is what we often do, we do the same thing as her sentence says. We think there's a we here that does the reacting.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're saying is there is no we here that is doing the reacting, but the reacting is happening.
Mm-hmm.
You are not even
That's good.
that.
That's good. I like that.
You're not even that. And
If you can't disconnect from it, there is a knowing now that has been revealed to some of you, and now is absolutely amazing that you finally settled the dust. That you are not the one that's making the dust.
Linda's giving us a good tip. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate so much your guys' comments, because your comments even give us better language sometimes, and you preach better than we do sometimes. And thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Even if it sounds like we tweak your comments a little bit, it's all for us all to learn and to become more aware of who we are. Now, like what Linda said, she says the real you is the one who drove the car when your mind was so lost in thought that you have no memory of making the drive.
That's it.
That's the you that we're talking about. Yeah. That you wasn't even in the thoughts. It didn't go with the thoughts.
And you no struggle. No struggle.
But the thoughts were there.
This is what is called the victorious walk.
It is.
It is called, another word, the middle path. It is called the flow of the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
What they say, chop wood and carry water.
Chop wood, carry water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, what we're saying tonight.
And you know the principle of that, chop wood, carry water, is when you gotta do a job, don't think about I gotta go chop the wood and carry the water. Just go chop the wood and carry the water. Don't think about I gotta chop the wood and carry the water.
We'll say, boy, my mind battled me today. Oh, did I have a time today?
Well, my sister pointed out something to me back some time ago, and I'm still using it, sissy. You made me aware. Uh, she said, "Do you realize you say all day long, I've gotta, I've gotta do this, I've
Mm-hmm.
gotta do that, or I need to, I need
Mm-hmm.
to,"
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I mean when I say chop wood and carry water. You can chop wood and carry water, but you don't have to think about I gotta chop wood and carry water.
No, you don't.
You don't have to do that. You can wash the dishes, but you don't have to think about I need to wash the dishes. I gotta wash the dishes. That in itself is psychological suffering.
Well, there's a word for this chaotic mind. Some people call it the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good word for it.
Hey, don't mess me there. I got the heebie-jeebies.
I think baby girl got the heebie-jeebies because she don't have that toy. And
I got the
I think
heebie-jeebies.
she might have been trying to get it a minute ago. That's what we heard
Uh-huh,
that
uh-huh.
bump. I don't know
Yeah.
what that was. That
Oh
bump.
Lord, she's over here scratching the floor.
Oh my gosh.
Now, the trick gives off the ideal that God is in warfare. No, he's not.
Never, ever, never, ever in warfare.
No, he's not in warfare.
God's never threatened. God's never
The
disturbed.
chaotic
But
mind,
we've been taught that God gets disturbed.
Yeah.
But God does not get
the
disturbed.
chaotic mind is in warfare with itself.
Mm-hmm.
And we are just standing there looking at that fool make a fool out of itself.
Yeah.
When you jump in it, oh, it will ignite this thing, what you talking about.
Yeah.
It will blow everything. And then you come out, you feel bad and you feel convicted and you feel like you've done, the church we call it backsliding, sliding. You know what I mean? It's like trying to handle a wheelbar, two handles on it. One of the handles missing. You got a brick on one side of it and a flat tire, and you ain't no way in a ham sandwich with a bad piece of tomato on it that you gonna be able to hold that thing
What
in
you
place.
see right there?
What's that?
That's a monkey,
Yeah, that's a monkey.
but he's asleep.
Yeah. The monkey went to sleep
So the monkey can jump around. It can jump
and wear
around
itself out.
and wear itself out until it goes to sleep.
That was-
That's what a quiet mind is.
I went to a church one time and the lady said to me, said, Pastor Sawyer, I want to ask you something. She said, my mother-in-law lives with me and my husband. And she said,
I remember that.
Pastor Sawyer, I don't know what to do with her. I said, well, what you saying?
Her
said-
mother-in-law had
As
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's. She said, from the time she get up, she's cussing. She done cussed everybody out and everything in the house. Say she cussed so much till she wear herself out and have to go to bed.
That's it. That's it right there. That's it right there. That's the only time the
Said
mind
she
is
had to go to
quiet.
bed. And so when they was in church and grandma was there and she was sitting in the back and I walked down the aisle and I smelled something real terrible.
Oh, I know.
And it was
I
a
know,
terrible thing.
yeah.
And grandma done what she had to do with the number
She was in
two
the bathroom.
right there, yeah.
Yeah.
And they had to take her out. I said, Lord have mercy. And this lady said she'll cuss herself to sleep.
I'll never forget too that this pastor's wife said this. She said, Pastor, sorry, I don't mean to be cruel. She said, but I've been praying for God to just take her home.
Yes, that's what she said. That's right. That's
She
right.
said, I just wanted to go
Take
ahead
her
and die.
home. And I know the people that we're talking about. I know them real well, and I think they finally got delivered.
Well, I was talking to someone about this the other day. I think it was my sister. She was talking about one of her coworkers who's a caregiver for her dad, and she's been out of work all of this time to help take care of her dad because her dad's in hospice, and they were saying he was transitioning, but he's still living, and it's lingering. It's lingering. And I said to her, and we realized this because of your mom, how we had this when she was transitioning. It took her so long to transition. At some point in the midst of that, and it sounds cruel, but at some point in there, you just start wishing they just die. And that sounds horrible, but the waiting for them to die is where the chaos is. It's where the disturbance is, where all the frustration is. And so you just want it to be over. You want it to be over. Now, look who's here with us tonight. Hey there, bud. He says, casting down every imagination that exalts itself makes the imagination an inanimate energy that only receives life from us when we come into agreement with. Now, I like what you said. It gets its energy from us.
That's right. It feeds off the energy of God
Yeah.
inside of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not inside, but of our presence as the eternal self.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Because there is no other energy but the energy that is the essence that we are. There's no place else for it to get energy. The mind gets its energy from us.
Okay.
When our attention goes to it. He said he and his mom were both watching tonight, listening.
Okay. Tell us where you're located now. We like to holler back at you sometimes.
That's you know him by Mark.
Yeah.
That's Mark City.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Yes. Linda likes the sleeping monkey picture. That's what we're all hoping, that the monkey would go to sleep.
And it will. But at this point,
now I like what Sissy says.
Okay.
She says, yes, our belief in the story is what fuels it.
Yes. Yes.
The juice. That's the juice.
Now, the belief that we have taught people to use can go further than just belief. It can be canceled out by knowing. Knowing your true self in the full impact of knowing your true identity. That means you're going to have to go for it. You got to invest more. See, what has happened to most of us, we get saved and get all in the church and get in auxiliaries and all kinds of games and stuff and social clubs, and think that is enough to make you happy, when no sooner than your head hit the pillow, that monkey goes a turning.
You were talking about church, because that's what we've been in church, and we realize there are other people watching us who have not been in church, so bear with us if you hear our language go in that direction.
Condition.
But we have had times to reflect on a lot of the things we did while we were in what we call church. Most of it was unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. But I also realized that this freedom that we're talking about now, which there is no judgment in it.
Yep. Unconditional
There's
love.
no punishment in it.
That's right.
It's unconditional acceptance. Some people aren't ready for that.
Right.
And some people aren't ready to hear, like you said, everything that you need and that you feel like you want or need is already inside of you. It's already here. Some people can't live in that dimension. They still need the dimension where God has to come to the rescue. Oh, yeah. Or that God has to intervene.
Yep.
That God is a separate from me, the big power that comes and fixes this whole thing for me. Some people live in that dimension, and they have to live there because they don't know how to access the God ability that's inside of them.
That's right.
And so until they know how to do that, they're going to always need someone to come to the rescue.
Now.
Well, like, I'll give you an example, like baby girl going up those steps. She could have gone up those steps.
Yeah.
She has the ability to do it.
That's right.
She has the strength to do it.
Oh, boy, that's good.
But she was afraid. So she had to have someone to come and assist her. And even with that assistance, she wasn't sure of herself. Some of us live in that dimension.
That's right.
So we have to have a God that will come down and help us all the time. And so our main focus is, how do I connect with that God? How do I get that God to move for me?
What is so gracious about this? that the geographical location of God is right there in and with you. Never. Do you know? And I say it again. When you were in the Christ child growing up stage, that spirit that you call God was there inside of you as the functions of your heart and the blood flowing through your veins
in a very immature
in a
state.
very immature state. You would say, it was a shock to me that when I woke up. Now watch this. It was a shock to me that when I woke up to this, I realized that this thing that we were taught in the brick and mortar, that no man knows God until he asks Jesus to come in. No man, nobody, anybody knows God unless they receive him. And then we've had this thing, and if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus Christ away from this, you shall be saved. That was the mouth chin music. I didn't know that when I found this out, that God had been the real self in us
The whole time.
the whole time, and it didn't finally start at one event.
So just because we weren't aware of it, it doesn't mean it wasn't actually true. Now look, Linda Linda says that monkey is so exhausted. It's sleeping sitting up with his head on a brick.
Yeah. Hey, that's something. He done wore himself out being a monkey.
This is our minds, guys. This is what the mind looks like.
This monkey done backslid, done did everything.
Can you imagine?
He couldn't stop the monkey from thinking, and so the monkey just said, I had it.
Can you imagine, though, somebody trying to keep that monkey quiet when he's not sleeping, not worn out?
He's the one that gets bored. He got bored. He got upset. He got disappointed. He wanted to commit suicide. He wanted to kill himself. And he wanted to do all the things that a monkey would do when they get frustrated.
Trying to find relief.
Yeah.
Couldn't find relief, so I just go to
All
sleep.
the monkey had to do was shut his ugly mouth. I could have said something else. Shut his mouth and go on to sleep and leave the eternal self alone.
Look, some of us feel like we got a head on brick too, I tell you.
Listen to this. Listen to this.
What?
Demons, flesh, Satan, evil, all of this and the ego is one in the chaotic mind. Demons, Satan, evil thinking, you name anything that distracts away from the eternal self is in that same place called the chaotic mind.
Yes. And some of I said this on, I think it was Sunday. I can't remember now. Some of us are walking through the graveyard of the ego.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Tell me about it. That's right.
That graveyard of the ego is where all of the past memories are, and all of the feelings I had about when that happened, how that happened, and all of that. And even if it was yesterday, you're walking through the graveyard. Now, Mark said this. He said, Mom is in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. And she's visiting with him, going through treatment. Wow. Try not to call it a name. I hear you. I feel you, especially when describing it to people for the first time. Yes, I agree, sweetheart. And we stand with you right now and with her and believe and hold her we hold her and envision her healed and well. Healed and well. Everybody type it in. I see her healed and well. Healed and well. Healed and well. That's the way I behold her now. I dare not hold the vision of her being sick, but I hold the vision of her being healed and well.
Now.
Healed and well. Or, he's going through it. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I hold the vision of you going through this, and you are healed and well. Healed and well. I apologize for my misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, you guys, we miss you. We hadn't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I'm glad you're tuning in. Hon. Yes.
Okay, it's him. But
Yes.
I pray that you will be strengthened by the might of what we're saying, awareness of your already healed self.
And he said it's for him and not his mom. So correction, you guys.
Yes,
it's for him. We see
misunderstood.
you healed and well. So type that in. We see Mark or Sai healed and well. Healed and well. Thank you for letting us know so we can be praying with you, Mark.
Okay. Now we got enough out there right now. We won't have to end this chapter here, but I'll tell you, it has been really rewarding to talk to you like this. And some of you guys' comments that have been coming back to us in response to the class tonight has really opened up some things to us.
Yeah.
Because see, we are each other's map, we're each other's healing presence.
Yes, yes. They're typing it in for you, Mark, and they're holding you. They're holding you in the vision, and they're holding you there, healed and well. Healed and well.
Okay.
And it's good that you're listening to this tonight, because I'm pretty sure when you hear that word, that mind goes into chaos. That monkey goes crazy. It goes
When I
crazy.
studied into near-death experiences, I run across a term called altered state of consciousness. And that's what you have to do, alter yourself. You don't go into denial and foolishness, but you know you got to establish the fact, this that I am as the eternal self, beyond what my condition said. Take your shoes off, leave them outside the door of everything you've ever learned in church, and go to the Christ kingdom inside yourself, the real you. God is waiting for your attention inside yourself.
Now, actually, we know that it's possible for you to be healed and well, because you already are healed and well. But when the rose-colored glasses come off, you will see it that it is so. Now, Brother James just came through that, and he's got a clean bill of health. He has no signs of it in his body, and so we know it's possible, and it is happening for you right now. It has happened already. You are healed and well. Okay? We hold you in that.
Well, our time has run out, and in this dimension for the moment.
Linda says, "Great talk, love you, kiss the monkey, good night."
Oh, that monkey is something. You know, I told my wife, I said, "Oh, they look like somebody you know."
Yeah.
I've seen somebody like that before. I don't know who it is.
Look like somebody I used to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have one of those. We all have one of those, and it jumps from one tree to the next with thoughts and feelings, and so there is no possible way sometimes to shut it up or make it. It has to wear itself out, and you find your own way. And I remember there was a good friend of ours, Lisa Lentoli, who said this to us, and it's been over a couple of years ago now. She said Jesus didn't have a Jesus.
Okay.
He had to find his own way to the Father. Jesus didn't have a Jesus. So you can find your way to the Father, and the Father's right there inside of you as you.
That was an old song we sing in the church. I shall not be moved.
And the monkey didn't sing that.
No, the monkey.
The monkey
I shall
can't
not be
sing that.
moved, just like a tree
Planted by the water. I shall not be moved.
Hot dog. We go now. See you next time.
We're going on the road. I don't know if we're going to make any money, but we're going on the road.
We got to make it. We got to move on out of here. But you stay there, and the next time be Thursday at 12:30.
Thursday at 12:30.
We'll talk about this some more, okay?
Yes, and thank
Tune
you
in
guys.
with us if you can.
And thank you guys for giving and remembering to do that with your tithes and your offerings, and for your support that you sent to Pastor and myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the gifts.
And don't forget to hit the like button. And if you're on the YouTube and you haven't subscribed, please do that so you'll know when we come back on. And as Pastor already said, we'll be back on Thursday at 12:30 with another great impromptu with Pastor Norman. Pastor Norman he's going through his journey of enlightenment.
Yeah,
and it's beautiful to see how a pastor comes out of the confines of religion into the place where everything that God is already. That's something to watch. Something to watch. Anyway, we love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Hang on in there. Be safe.
Okay. See you on the turnaround.
What's the turnaround?
The next time.
The next time.
Yeah, the next round.
The next round.
The next round.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye bye.